What is up, guys? Welcome to another Dragon Ball Super deck profile. Just gonna go over my Vegeks deck. It is a deck that I do play. I don't normally use it in tournaments. And there's also like nothing really like special about this. This is probably the build you've seen many players play. But for anyone who is new to the game or looking to understand why this deck is so powerful, hopefully this is a video that can help you out a little bit with one of the more affordable and really good competitive decks in the game. So we start off with our leader. Most of this can be found in the starter deck. So if you get like 2 copies of the starter deck, you pretty much have almost the whole deck right off the bat. Vegeta Xeno and Trunks Xeno, aka father and son, team up. His permanent is you can only play mono black battle cards, so all your battle cards can only be the black cards that you see here. You can use this as a combo, because using it as a combo is not playing the card. So you can play Further Indestruction Champa in your deck. Once per turn, you can burst 5 to draw 1 card. Burst is a mechanic where you take the top 5, the numerical value of the cards from your deck, and send them to your drop zone to draw a card. And then when your life is at 4 or less, or if you have 20 or more cards in your drop, you can draw a card, switch up to one of your energy to active mode, and flip them over to the fusion side where we have our main character, Vegeks, the unsung fusion hero. The only thing that's different here is he's getting permanent with the 20 cards in your drop. If you would lose the game by running out of cards in your deck, you get to shuffle your drop area into your deck instead. So there's basically no decking out so long as you have 20 cards in your drop. And if you draw that last card, where it would otherwise lose you the game, you can instead shuffle your deck and have a whole new deck, essentially. Once per turn, you draw 1 card, place 5 cards from the top of your deck into your drop area, and then you can choose up to 1 of your black unison cards, and it gains double strike. So the main unison that we are using, and the only unison that we're using, is SS Gotenks Fusion of Friendship. He has an auto that if he would be sent from the... If your leader is a black Saiyan card, which Vegeks is, if he is sent from the drop, if he's put into the drop area by a skill, and you don't have a unison card in play, you get to play him with a marker on it. So he comes into play when he's milled, whether it's that effect or other card effects that send cards from your deck to the graveyard or drop zone. He'll come into play. +2, you can choose 1 card in your hand and discard it, and he'll get plus 10,000 power for the turn. So he goes from 5,000 power to 10,000. And then his big play is -4. He will get 20,000 power and dual attack for the turn. So you can start to see that, one of the main goals of the deck is to build up the counters on this guy. Activate the -4 first, because he gains the attack value and dual attack. And then activate this skill where you draw a card on this side of the leader, you draw a card and give him double strike. If you do it the other way where you draw a card first and then decide to give this double strike, and then you decide to do the -4, because he's technically losing markers, which is ruled the same way as losing power, he will lose the skill that this guy gives him. So you always want to do this one first and then your leader. The rest of the cards are all kind of like free play guys. So your Supreme Kai Tai, she gives you extra combo power. Trunks is a blocker. When he comes into play, you can also take a life from your life bar and add it to your hand. And then Time Agent Vegeta is one of your main methods of removal. When you have an activate battle where once per turn, you pay 2 energy and choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 3 or less and send it to its owner's warp. So one of the main things that this deck does is it basically plays a lot of battle cards using no energy. So it allows you to freeze up your energy to do special moves like that to help out against your opponent. So you have combo power, you have a blocker, and you have an attacker. And these guys all come out for free, because if they're sent from the deck to the drop area, if you don't already have one in play, these two have the keyword unique, so you can only have 1 in play. But if 1 is already in play, it goes straight to the drop. But if you don't have any in play, they come to the board and you get to do their things. The Supreme Kai does not have unique, so you can play as many of her on the board as possible. So you play 4, you can have all 4 on the board, and she's basically a card that you want to conserve to add on to extra combo power. Normally she's a 5k combo, but if you have less than 5 cards in your hand, she gains an additional 5k. Over in the little weenie rush spot, you have Dark Power Black Mass Saiyan. You can fluctuate with this card. You can go between 3 and 4. The other thing with Vegeks is because of the mill capabilities, you can play like 60 cards. You can play a minimum of 50 because the deck size has to be 50. And you can go up to a maximum of 60. So I'm sure you probably see like a lot of players bouncing between 50, 60, or playing weird numbers like 54, 55. This version is a 55 card build because I like to draw a lot of cards, and I also like to do. It's all about like consistency, and you want to see certain cards more than others, which is why I did a 3-2 split between the 1-drops. Like Dot Power Black Mass Saiyan is really good. Some people will say the main 4. I like 3. I think 3 is fine. Haru is another way to win out the game. If you control a black unison, she gets 10,000 power and double strike. So if this guy's on the board and you summon her, she's basically a 1-drop 15k double strike, which is really good. Another thing that most people do differently, you might see players playing either this particular super combo, the Vegeta super combo, or the Trunks super combo, or even Bibbidi. There's many reasons why you can run all 3. I think it also does boil down to player preference. I'm a big fan of drawing cards. I like to see more options, so I use this guy. And what he does is when you use him as a combo, you take 1 card from your hand and put it to the bottom of your deck, and then draw 2 cards. I also like it because he is also a Vegeta Xeno. I do main deck this guy here, which you need a Vegeta Xeno and a Trunks Xeno to make, and I side deck the other engine for those games that allow 2 out of 3. I don't like to main the engine because I just want to win fast, and this is a very fast, aggressive deck. 4 Trunks, self-explanatory, gives the guys double strike. 4 Trunks because you want to see it, because you need him to bring out this guy. It's probably like a strong turn 1 play. There's other turn 1 plays that you can do, but the main one that you want to see is this guy into this guy, so that way you can get out one of your like game winner cards, which will go over into the sink. Trunks is an overwhelm 3 for 1 energy. So usually like first turn you have your leader, you charge your energy, you mill your 5 cards, and then if you have the Trunks in hand, maybe you summon a bunch of these and you have 3 cards left in the drop, you can summon the Trunks. He brings out this guy in rest mode, and then this guy mills 5 more cards on top of that. So it's a way to refill your graveyard to build up to the 20 that you need. 20k barrier, it's really strong. And one of the things that you could do is you can use him to bring out a black battle card with 1900 power from your drop and play it. And the one you want to bring out is this guy here, Black Mass Saiyan Splintering Mind. When he comes into play, you can choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and send it to its owner's warp. So he's already built-in removal, and being that this is a turn 1, and you can bring this out like turn 2 to kill like something small. It also doesn't care what like energy the card is. So if they have like a big like 4-drop, 5-drop, or whatever, and it doesn't have barrier, you can kill it, which is really good. And then one of the other skills that's really nice is when you have 7 or more in your drop, he has a Sparking 7 skill. You can warp, choose 2 cards in your life, send them to the warp, and if you do, you choose one of your cards in your opponent's life and send it to its owner's warp. And you get to choose, so you can pick like any random life that your opponent has and do that. So what I like to do is like I'll swing with this guy, activate, warp the 2 to definitely kill a life, and then sometimes throw like a double strike Trompa on that, or maybe like a super combo and a double strike Trompa. So they're looking at a 39 double strike. They've already lost 1 life, and if they don't like defend, they're about to take 2 more. So it's really good pressure, and he's just a really strong card. And it comes out for basically 1 energy, so you don't have to worry about paying 4 for him. The other thing too is this guy can also grab your regular Vegeta because there's a 1900 black battle card, so you can swing with this guy, pay 1, send it to the draw, bring this one out. There's a lot of options, so it's really good stuff. Like I said before, I like drawing cards, so you see some people only playing 3 or 2. I want to draw cards. I like playing 4. It's also a really good card to pitch for this guy's ability. Sometimes you don't want to give up like pitching a battle card. Maybe you pitch like extras of these if you don't have them, but this is just like one of the really good cards to play. For matches where I want to slow it down, this is a in case stuff happens kind of card. He's a Union Potara for 3. You need a Trunks Xeno and a Vegeta Xeno. You can choose battle cards in your warp for him to put him on, and then when he's there, he's 24k single strike. He has barrier, and then when he's in rest mode, your opponent's battle cards with 50k in power or more can only attack him. So let's say like if you're playing against a matchup like for example the green Gotenks, and you have this in defense mode. Since the green Gotenks is 25k, it's 15k or more. So they have to swing into this, and then like you can either like combo the chump block or you negate it, and then like they're stuck attacking this guy again. So he's a good way to buy some time if you're trying to dig for other options. Our additional overwhelm is SS3 Son Goku, Man on a Mission. He's a free play. I mean, so many free cards, cost no energy. It's overwhelm 6, critical, double strike. So like your first mill is that, and then you overwhelm into like this guy, and then you mill 5, and then maybe combo a card, and then this guy's alive as early as turn 1. Like you just throw. I mean, that's a little silly to do that, but it is an option. And then for the extra cards, you have Power Burst and 3 Extinction Attack. Extinction Attack is really good. Like everybody knows what Power Burst does. Negates the attack and you get back a 1-drop. Extinction is also something that you can do. Like if you have nothing to do turn 1, you leave your energy open, and let's say your opponents like throw something in the graveyard that you don't want them to take advantage of. And if you're playing against blue, they have the draw 2 ape. You get rid of the draw 2 ape, you mill 4 cards, and then it's 15k power. So like it literally just like stops an attack. Against green, you can remove like Ribians, you can get rid of the Zarbons. Like it's just really good stuff. And like just this alone, I'm not talking about side deck because I do have like some of the more expensive cards in the side deck, but for like best of one, or just like a deck off the bat, like this card might be a little bit pricey. I don't know. I'm not sure what the price is right now. I know when I traded for it, he was at a pretty high value because this is the winner's version of the card. There's like a non-foil version of it, might be cheaper. This is like a couple of bucks at bust. But most of this deck, with the exception of this guy, this is a promo. So this might be like the most money you'll spend on 4 cards. But everything else is really cheap and comes from like sets or just in the starter itself. Like this whole package here is a starter deck. You can get Dark Power Back Mass Scenes in the starter. Furthering Destruction Chomper comes in the starter. And I think Power Burst are in the starter. And then like Trunks comes from a set. This is a rare in a set. This is a common in the set. I just have it foil. This comes in the starter. It's common. And like 2 structure decks, and then maybe like a couple of bucks, and you can definitely have like this whole deck for maybe just shy of 100 or under 100, maybe a little bit over 100, like 120 maybe. It's just a really good budget deck. It's a deck that I think everyone should have. It's a really good deck for the format. And it just wins games when played right, and it's a very aggressive deck. So just a simple deck profile on one of the many things that I have in my arsenal. So thanks for watching. Let's remember, always like and subscribe, and stay tuned. We got more Dragon Ball deck profiles as well as more gaming content coming your way here on Omega Zed's Domain.